Hello again, my DIY loving friends. I'm Sarah, and this is Medicated Housewife DIY, where crafting and mental health come together. Today, we're turning Dollar Tree tumbling tower blocks into high-end decor masterpieces. Yes, you heard that right. Luxury on a budget. So what are we waiting for? Let's go DIY together. For this DIY, I'll be using a total of 48 of the natural tumbling tower blocks from Dollar Tree, and I'm using the super glue wood glue, also from Dollar Tree, to glue them together. So to begin with, we are making sets of 3 blocks that are all glued side to side, as you can see me doing right here. Once I have 8 of these sets of 3, I am going to join 2 sets of 3 together to make a set of 6. These 2 sets are glued end to end, as you see here, and I'm doing that until I have 4 sets of 6 in front of me. I stand up my 4 sets of 6 blocks, and I'm going to be attaching them together into a square shape using all 4 of the sets of 6 blocks. Then I create another set of 8 of the 3 block sets, but instead of completing a second square with it, I do it in sections. I make one corner piece using 2 sets of 3, and I place that corner set of 6 inside my other square to see how it fits. I make another corner piece, and then I add a second 3-piece set to one side of that corner. I attach 2 more of the 3 block sets together and attach them to the long side of the corner that we just made. I attach the final 3 block set to the end of that to create another corner, and I place all my pieces aside to dry. Meanwhile, I have these 2 square wood planks from a pack of 6 at Dollar Tree, and I want to attach 2 of them together. So to begin with, I use some wood glue on the inside edge, and then I push the 2 squares together. But because I know the glue alone is not strong enough to keep these 2 squares together, I add 3 wood craft sticks from Dollar Tree glued across the bottom to give the 2 pieces some extra strength and to help keep them together. And then I place something heavy on top of that to dry. Moving back to my tower block squares, I glue the large 3/4 square piece to the upper outside of that finished square corner, as you see me doing right here. And then I'm going to glue the small corner piece to that same corner, but on the inside of my finished square, in the hopes that they look intersected. And you know, I'm always straight with you guys. They didn't line up perfectly. They really didn't. But honestly, they looked fine. So I'm just going to go with it and let my 2 intersecting squares fully dry. I grab this rectangle wood plank from Dollar Tree along with the 2 wood square planks that we had glued together. And I'm using a mixture of equal parts hot water and strong instant coffee as a stain to stain all my wood planks on both sides and on all the edges, doing 2 coats on each piece for a deeper, warm wood tone. And then I place them all aside to dry. Next, I use that same coffee stain on my 2 intersecting tumbling tower block squares, making sure to fully cover the whole inside of those squares. So I do the inside first, and then I get all of those edges and all the sides. I want them to be covered fully and evenly. So I did 2 coats of the coffee on this piece too, so that that brown wood tone would be exactly the same for all of my pieces. I flipped the 2 Jenga block intersected squares on their side and centered them onto the small rectangle as best that I could before adding some wood glue to the bottom of the blocks and gluing it in place. And then I centered the top 2 square planks on top of my intersected squares and added some glue to the top of the intersected squares and position the top planks down on top of that. And because clearly I don't know when to stop, I had a bunch of these coffee stir sticks that had been coffee stained already from another project in my stash. But the Dollar Tree craft sticks will work for this as well. I cut them all to size and I used some wood glue to cover all the edges of those wood planks, which I didn't think looked that great uncovered and raw. They just weren't great. So I basically covered all the edges on the top planks as well as on the bottom one, just giving the project a more finished look. And I also placed a wood stir stick over that seam on the top of the 2 square planks in the middle that we had glued together, just to complete the look. And this is my Tumbling Tower Block intersecting square riser. And I love this riser so much. It looks like such a high-end, modern, sophisticated mini console table. I'm really happy with the finishing touches of the wood sticks framing the raw edge of the wood planks. You would never guess this project cost about $3 to make. Just stunning. A definite Dollar Tree Tumbling Tower Block winning DIY. This one's a keeper. For this DIY, they're back. We're using 32 of the brown tumbling tower blocks from Dollar Tree. I'm telling you now, I don't think I will ever run out of these brown blocks, especially if that's what Dollar Tree keeps shipping out whenever I order blocks. But that's okay though. Clearly, we are making it work. You and I, we are in this together. So 32 total of the brown blocks, and we are using them to make 8 sets of 4 blocks each, all of which are attached end to end. I'm using the super glue wood glue, also from Dollar Tree, to attach them. We're also using 32 of the small wood cubes that come in a pack of 36 from Dollar Tree. So we're using a little less than 1 pack. I'm using a mixture of water and folk art antique wax, which I'll link for you below. And I paint all 32 of the wood cubes using the wax and water. And I use a dry paper towel to rub off the excess liquid. This leaves me with a nice sheer brown tone with the wood grain of the cubes still coming through. While my cubes dry, I'm using a sanding sponge to sand and distress all my 4 block sets of the brown blocks because I really like the look of the distressed brown blocks as opposed to the solid brown blocks. It really makes a difference, in my opinion. To assemble, I am using 5 of the cubes on the first row. I space them out with that first cube placed on the bottom edge, and then the second cube on the seam between the first 2 blocks, the third cube on the seam between the next 2 blocks, the fourth cube on the seam above that, and that 5th cube on the top edge, as you see me doing here, and then I attach the next set of 4 blocks to that. All my block sets are standing on their sides. My second row of cubes uses 4 of the cubes, and each one is going to be placed in between the cubes from that first row so that they all look alternating. We'll have 5 cubes and then we have 4 cubes and so on, followed by another set. Each of the subsequent rows follows the same pattern. It's 1 row of 5 cubes, followed by a row of 4 cubes, and so on until we've used up all of our cubes and the 8 sets of 4 blocks, and we've formed this square shape. And this is my brown tumbling tower block and wood cube trivet, or extra large coaster, or wall sculpture for that matter. You could also make it really big and use it like a tray. The sky's the limit. I can't tell you what to do with it. You use it however you like. But I really like the 2 wood tones and the distressing, and it's still a strong and functional use of everyone's favorite, the brown tumbling tower blocks. For this DIY, I'm using 1 of these short pillar candles from Dollar Tree, as well as a pack of these black river rocks that are also from Dollar Tree. I grabbed one of those wood slices like the kind you can get at Dollar Tree, and my candle fit on it with room to spare on the edges. So I assembled some rocks around the edges. I'm using some Store-Bond super glue along with the spray accelerator, which I will link for you below, to attach the rocks to the wood slice as well as to each other. You could also use the super glue from Dollar Tree for this part if you prefer. I do like to use the accelerator to give a more immediate hold, but please be aware that this stuff has some really strong fumes and it's an aerosol. So keep that in mind. You need a ventilated area to use it. So basically here, all I'm doing, I'm going to build a wall of river rocks that's encircling the candle until I reach that top edge of the candle, and then I'm going to stop there. I've got this pack of reindeer moss from Dollar Tree, and I break up the moss into smaller pieces. Using some hot glue and a scrap stick, I hot glue the moss into some of the spaces between the rocks, and I kind of shove the moss deep into those spaces with the help of that stick. I make my way around the candle, and I am basically eyeballing where I think the moss would look good. I just want it to kind of be a pop of color and an accent to break up all that black in the rocks, and to give my candle a more earthy, natural look and feel. And this is my river rock and moss candle, and it's giving me spring vibes. And as I look out the window at my snowy backyard, I am here for it and ready for some spring vibes. I don't know about you guys. I love a real natural earthy kind of DIY, and this definitely fits the bill. I think I'd like it more as a pair, so keep that in mind. But really, this project is so quick and so easy. Making another one would take so little effort anyway. Just a little something to breathe a breath of fresh spring air. And there you have it, some fabulous high-end decor hacks using our trusty Dollar Tree tumbling tower blocks. Who knew elegance could be this affordable? If you enjoyed these DIY projects, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Medicated Housewife DIY for more crafty adventures. Let me know in the comments which DIY was your favorite and why. You know I love hearing from all of you. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, remember that together we're making the world a more beautiful place, one DIY at a time.